Hey guys, Rochelle here with Amethyst Ascension. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're returning, thank you so much for joining me again. So today I'm going to be starting a two-part hashtag, and it's called hashtag TarotTube 2026. So before we begin, this isn't meant to be a long series, and it's not meant to pull us backwards or keep us stuck in analysis. It's actually the opposite. This is a conscious pause, a moment of reflection before moving forward. So many of us talk about tarot practices, decks, spreads, and collections, and I love all of that. But I felt called to step back and reflect on something deeper, the undercurrent of TarotTube itself. The community energy, the shared experiences, the lessons that we've learned just by being here. This first video is going to be all about where we've been and where we are. Not just individually, but collectively as a tarot community. The growth, the beauty, the challenges, the shifts, and the patterns that have shaped TarotTube into what it is today. The second video will be about where we want to go, what kind of tarot community we want to consciously move into in 2026, and what values that we want to carry forward with us. So I wanted to do this now because I personally feel ready to move on to other things on my channel and to focus more on appreciation, creativity, and joy in my tarot practice. But before doing that, it felt important to honor the journey. Reflection is part of tarot, and discernment is part of tarot. And community, real community, deserves to be acknowledged. This tag isn't about drama. It's not about calling anybody out. And it's definitely not about right or wrong, okay? It's about awareness. It's about asking ourselves, what have we learned by being part of this space? What has helped us grow? What has challenged us, and what do we want to do differently as we move forward? Now, I also want to be very clear here that participation in this tag is completely optional. Obviously, you know that. But there's no pressure to agree with anyone else's perspective, not even mine. This is simply an invitation to reflect honestly, thoughtfully, and with integrity. In this first video, we'll take a look at the past and present of TarotTube, the shared lessons, the community moments, and the realities of being here right now. In the second video, we will look ahead towards 2026 and talk about what kind of tarot community we want to build, what we want to support and participate in going forward. So if you feel called to join in the conversation, then you're welcome to share your reflections using the hashtag TarotTube, hashtag TarotTube 2026. I hope nobody else has used that. I didn't even look. And if you're someone who prefers to reflect quietly, hey, that's just as valid. Tarot teaches us that not everything needs to be spoken to be meaningful, right? So with that being said, let's begin with the first part of this reflection, where we've been and where we are. So as you can see here, I have the Grim Tales Tarot. You can either choose to be in front of the camera, or you can choose to, go through a deck. This was one of my decks, one of my favorite decks of 2025, so that's why I wanted to put it here. Let me take a sip. Oh, that's so good. So, hello everybody, and welcome to the TarotTube 2026 conversation. So, when I look back on the tarot community over the past several years, because I came to TarotTube in 2018, I have seen a lot of growth. I see people finding tarot for the first time. I see them falling in love with it and then slowly deepening their relationships with the cards. I see people learning, unlearning, experimenting, and evolving. We've shared deck walkthroughs that helped us decide, what spoke to us. We've shared spreads that sparked creativity. We've had community hashtags that brought us together. We've watched each other grow in confidence, voice, and practice. At the same time, we've also learned some pretty hard lessons. We've learned what kind of energy feels supportive and what doesn't. We've learned what builds community and what quietly breaks it down. Growth isn't always comfortable, but it is necessary. I feel like it is necessary. So, one of the most powerful things about this community has been shared experiences, group events, hashtags, conversations that made us feel less alone in our own practices. Those moments reminded us that tarot does not exist in isolation. It thrives in connection, right? We've also learned discernment. So we've learned how to curate our spaces, protect our energy, and choose what kind of content that we engage with. That too is part of the spiritual growth. So where we are now, I think we're at a crossroads. On one side, there's noise, pressure, and constant output. On the other side, there's a quieter call to slow down, reconnect, and remember why we fell in love with tarot in the first place. And I think many of us are feeling that pull towards joy, appreciation, and authentic connection again. So I have a set of 5 questions, reflection questions. They will be put down below in the description, the video description. I also have a 3-card spread here. So I want to do the reflection questions first, and then we'll do the spread together. And the spread will also go down in the description, okay? And I will use this for everything. So, the first reflection question is, what originally drew you into the tarot community? The first thing that drew me into tarot community was I was supposed to make a video for a box subscription, and I would have got another box free. My daughter said, well, why don't you just put it on YouTube and then you can share the link with the company? So that's what I did. And while I was on YouTube, I seen a whole bunch of other channels that were talking about tarot and stuff. And I had just gotten my first tarot deck. And it was in a tarot party night. I got it through Crate Joy. And oh my goodness, it just opened everything up for me. I never even realized there was a tarot community. And then I went down the rabbit hole. Watching the channels, all that good stuff. I loved it, right? That's what drew me in. So what has been part of the TarotTube, what has being part of TarotTube taught you about yourself? Oh my gosh. I do see some people, and to each your own, no judgment here, okay? Not at all. I see people take down their old videos. I don't, because I want to see where I've been. Because I do feel like since I have been on YouTube, I have grown so much because of not just seeing my own perspective, but seeing the perspective of other people, right? And the way that other people practice, what they share, even the monthly roundups that they do. I feel like I have grown so much in my spiritual awareness, okay, since I found TarotTube. So I want to thank you, because you guys have most definitely helped me grow, If I don't thank you enough, I'm thanking you now. Thank you. So, what moments made you feel most connected? Hashtags, I love doing hashtags like this, where we actually sit down and we reflect on questions and we come together like a community. We watch each other's stuff. It's so supportive. That is when YouTube is the most supportive, is when we join in. Now, I do see that there's been a lot of people that don't go and watch and comment on other people's. And then there are others that do. I used to be one of those people that, like, practically just, I would try to watch everybody that participated in a hashtag, whether or not it was my hashtag or not, and comment and support, because I thought that's what you did, right? That I thought that's what community was. And I still see it like that, but within reason, because another thing I will tell you is, since I started YouTube, oh my gosh, has it just, the tarot community, like our side of the tarot community, has just continued to grow and grow and grow. And so many new channels have popped up since I started on YouTube. So it's like nearly impossible to keep up. So I don't anymore. I support where I get support. And I do the best that I can, right? Probably like most people. But I feel the most connected doing those. And I feel the most connected when we have done all of these monthly activities. You know, we started off with Past Lives Club in September of 2024. And then we went to ancestry work in October. And then in December through February, we did the Witchy House, the Seasons of the Witch. That was so shadowy. Oh my gosh, it was so good, but so shadowy. And then we did February's self-love. March, the person backed out at the last minute, actually, once it got started, so we took that off, which was nice. It was needed after all of what we had already done, right? And then April, we did the spring cleaning. We went through and cleaned a lot of our like collection and reorganized our rooms and stuff. And then, oh my gosh, May came along and we did, what was it, the divine feminine work. And then June came along and we did the like entering the Fae realm. We did connecting with Fae. And then in July, we did the divine masculine work. And then in August, we did the connecting with aliens, or, you know, reaching out with aliens, that kind of work. And it didn't go quite like I had envisioned, just because I was really tired at that point. I just tuckered out with all of the, you know, making of the digital planners and all that, and doing all the work for all those months. It was just so much, on top of doing review after review after review. It was just too much, and creating and continuing to create. It was a lot. And then we got into September of 2025, and we did the palmistry, which was so intense, so much information. My sister led that one. And then in October, we did like the Witch Within with Selena, which was fantastic. We did the round table. That was so good. And then in November, we did the Elemental Foundations, which was just pivotal for me. It was so good. I didn't realize it was going to be so good, but it was good. Getting back to basics is really good, I think. Sometimes it's good for us to do that. So that was quite the year. But the community that was gathered around all of that hard work that we did, it's so tight-knit now. It is so, we have like bonded so completely. And yes, it was just a wonderful thing. All right, so the next question. What lessons have helped you grow, even the uncomfortable ones? What lessons? Well, reuniting with my sister again, right? That was a big, and because the tarot community was part of it, you know. She had her own channel, and I had my own channel, and we had a falling out, and it was kind of public a little bit in the beginning, Then it was like radio silence and we didn't talk about it. But, I mean, we were both still in the community. So, but through that time, I was watching a lot of videos about, you know, this or that. And so was she. And it really, I think that it was a pivotal time for both of our growth. I think we had to go through what we did in order for our eyes to be opened to a lot of these things, which much of our work after that has been created from that very vulnerable time, that very difficult time period that we went through. It was almost 3 years so that we were estranged from each other. But getting back to the lessons that helped me grow in the tarot community, not to be so boisterous about certain things, I think, because in the beginning I was just like, oh, you know, I want to talk about this, but then you realize that not everybody feels the way that you do about it. And that's okay. Their perspective is valid also. And to not be so polarized on topics and just sit back and observe rather than having to put my 2 cents into everything. I do it, but I do it on my channel and I talk about what I believe in, and I can leave it at that. I don't need to be causing drama on anybody else's channels or leaving crappy comments, because there's just crappy people out there that I guess they forget that there's a real person behind, you know, behind the screen. I think sometimes social media helps people lose their humanity, right? So anyways, how does the tarot community feel to you right now? The tarot community to me feels just like the rest of the world, very divided. When you have these channels that love to really push agendas for views, because divisiveness and being highly opinionated and speaking controversially and having rants, that's all really good for the algorithm. The algorithm loves that. It loves to feed that kind of division. And it's not about the nastiness. It's just about the numbers. It keeps people coming back. They want to be in that energy. So they just keep on going back to feed it. And then they watch somebody else's video on it and somebody else's and blah, 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 blah. So I feel like that has been part of it. But I also feel like, I think a lot of us are just, we've just had it. You know what I mean? We're just like so over that part of it. When we see those channels that do that, we're just like, yeah, block, delete. When we see the suggestion of their channel come up, we're just like, not interested, block it, you know? Growth. I think that's where the growth has come in for that stuff. And anywho, so here is a 3-card spread. So to anchor this reflection, I want to share a tarot spread that you can work with alongside of this video if you choose, okay? So the questions are, let me just move some of these out of the way. I like a good aesthetic. And I like to have a deck that I can work with, you know, that's the right size for my small hands. I don't want anything chunky, if you know what I mean. Inside joke with me and a bunch of my friends. All right, so 3-card tarot community reflection spread. The past. What has the tarot community taught me so far? Oh gosh, the tarot community has taught me so much. Good and bad, right? I definitely love this deck. It is gorgeous. Ah, it shuffles so good. So yeah, my hands are little, but they're fat. I see some of these people with the long fingers, long skinny fingers, beautiful nails. I'm like so jealous. I have like a fetish for hands. So man, I wished mine were bigger. I really do. But my fingers are just short and fat. Anywho. All right, so what has the tarot community taught me so far? And I take flyers. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Okay. Yes, they have brought me joy. They taught me how to see things, how to put things into perspective. I have learned way more good from the tarot community than I have bad, okay? I'm just saying that. Especially my close-knit tarot community. Thank you guys. I truly love you and cherish you. You have no idea. So, oh gosh, yes. So the present, what is the current energy of my relationship with the tarot community? Let's see, what is mine? I guess this could be in two bigger questions. Like, do you have, like, yeah, that's so true, right? I want to slow down. Gosh, that is so good. My current energy of my relationship with the tarot community is it's time to chill out, you know? It's not part of my grind anymore. You know, I am releasing way more stuff over on my Patreon where I love that environment. And don't get me wrong, I love it over here too. I do. But I'm just ready for slower pace. I'm ready for more authenticity. I am ready for curating my community to exactly what I need it to be. And that's not obligation. It's pure joy and where I want to be, what I come to YouTube for. That is so redefined for me this year. It has been a part of my death year process, okay? And it was not easy for me to come to that. Lots of crying, lots of soul searching, because I have invested so much of my time since I started my channel. What is it, almost 1,400 videos? That's a lot. Lots of relationships. Anywho, lots of history. Now, the third question. What lesson am I meant to carry forward from this phase? Yeah, the integration. What lesson am I meant to carry forward from this phase? What lesson am I meant to carry forward from this phase? Yes. The lesson is to not look at my losses, but to look at everything that I have beautifully gained. Even the things that were hard truly did benefit my growth, because it forced me to look at myself and my own behaviors and ask myself, if I don't like this that's happening, why do I continue to engage in it? You know what I mean? So, yes, seeing how, even though, and it's not showing here, but even though I feel like I have lost emotionally a lot from my decision to cut back a little bit, because I had dreams for this channel, but those are no longer my dreams. Things have changed for me, but I feel like it's a good thing. I do. I think we're always growing. So just take your time with the cards, journal with them, sit with them. There's no rush. Again, this video was an invitation to reflect, not to judge. It's to remember, not to divide. The next video is going to be, like I said, all about what we expect, or what we want, not what we expect. Let me say that again. What we want from, our YouTube going forward in 2026. So I hope you jump on this also. I'm probably going to release the next video in a week or week and a half, somewhere around there. I'm just really cutting back, and I want to, feels like a cord cutting. doing this feels like a cord cutting before I move on with the new bit of stuff that I'm going to be doing. But that's coming very shortly. You'll see. It's going to be good. All right. Thank you for spending this time with me. I hope you jump on this TarotTube 2026. And I am sending you my love always.